welcome into the Michaela Hurst show. It's Eli Young alongside Redbird's girls head coach Michaela Hurst. Coach, how's it going?
Going good. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, we had a little leave of absence there, but I'm glad. I've seen the baby, around school a little bit. I believe his name is Bennett. Is that correct?
Yes.
Everything's going good so far, though?
Everything's going well. Sleeping, eating, all the things.
Good. And I'm sure the girls are glad to have you back as well.
Yes, they are. They were really excited. I showed up and surprised them at the Canton game. I came in through the locker room and I was like, man, this locker room's a mess. And they all started screaming and yelling. So they were really excited to see me on that
That's
day.
what Coach Bias kind of mentioned. All the girls were super excited to see you at that Canton game. They're actually shocked to see, it was such a quick turnaround, but I'm sure they're glad to have you back.
Yeah, I couldn't sit at home knowing there was a game 5 minutes away.
I guess we'll jump right in, though. The Ottawa, you guys were in a holiday tournament, kind of like the boys were. You guys were a little closer, though, Ottawa. Kind of walk us through that. I know you guys pretty handily won a lot of games there.
Yeah, we did pretty well at the beginning. Obviously, we know going into the Ottawa tournament that we're going to face some teams that we might see in the regional. So some good quality wins for us at the beginning there. Didn't pull it all the way through for Princeton. Princeton's really playing a tough year. I don't think they've lost a game yet. So we were prepared to play them, but I don't think we showed our best basketball to win that first place there. So we walked away with second place, and the girls were definitely devastated, but you could tell that was something that we kind of needed to go through, I think, to get us to where we want to be at the end of the season.
So that was a semifinal game or was it a championship game?
That was a championship game.
So we placed second?
We did, yes.
So that's still a pretty good showing, though, right?
It's
still
good,
early in the season.
This is now the second time that we've placed second in my last 4 years. So these seniors they weren't happy with it. So Coach Wyneth was like, oh, are we going to get a picture? And I was like, they're not going to smile. They're not going to want this. So it's a good finish for us. Like, obviously, everybody looks at that. Second place, still really good. But it definitely, for us at that point in this season, they're hungry for more. So it wasn't good enough for our girls.
And you guys got more, though. Coming up there, you guys – I missed the game, though, sadly, but I heard there's a thriller against Pekin, kind of a last second and one by Leah Coster that kind of got you guys the win.
Yes, so that was actually my first game back, so I don't know if I was technically cleared to be in that stressful of an environment, but it was really fun for them to see, or for me to see them really come together there. But yeah, we actually had that play that we ran at the end of that game, we had put in during our shoot around. We've ran it before, we just hadn't put it in for this year yet. So end of the game situation, we're trying to figure out what play to run, and I'm like, that's the only one that stuck out in my head. So I was like, I guess we're going to try this one. And then it ended up working out in our favor. So yeah.
It's going to stick in the playbook from here on out then, is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, it's definitely going to be moving forward, one of our go-tos.
100% success rate still, though?
I don't know.
Did we run it last night against Limestone?
We did run it last night against Limestone. I can't remember if we scored on it, though.
We got the win, though, against Limestone,
yes.
So I think it must have worked pretty good.
Yeah.
Talk about Limestone game now. Another pretty good, solid Meta-Illini win there. 61-29, maybe?
Yes. Yep.
Pretty good win there. I'm going to put you on the spot here. I didn't talk to you about this before the game, but who would have been your player of the game from last night,
Player of the game, definitely Kessel. She came out and was shooting the ball. We had actually talked about how our three-point percentage in the last couple games has gone down as a whole for the whole team. And she came out and went 3 for 3, and then I think was 4 for 5. And then she ended up making 5 threes for that game. She finished with 17 points. I think all around, though, it was a full team effort. We got everybody off the bench and in the game, and so we had some really good plays there. We even had a good sell, and there we had Kersey and Kessa in at the same time, so that was exciting.
That's awesome. And I'm going to kind of backtrack now. We talked about with the boys team. We just did the boys interview. How when you kind of go away for Christmas break, there's kind of an extra element of bonding that happens. You guys didn't necessarily go away like they did, but every morning when I would come in the mornings. I'd lift and stuff. I'd see you guys in here early in the morning. Almost every day. Talk to us a little bit about that bonding that kind of goes on over Christmas break, because there's no school, but they're hanging out still. I'm sure they're hanging out outside of practice, too. They're spending a lot of time together, What does that element kind of do for your team?
It definitely brings them together. The bus rides, all the things that we do over that holiday tournament, especially with us being at Ottawa an hour away, it allows them to kind of communicate and have those fun little quirky things. Obviously, I was gone for parts of that, but they came up with a bunch of nicknames for each other, and so that's been a whole thing. So they definitely just create their own bond, and I know that they hang out a lot outside of practices and games as well, so that's been really good for them. But then even just this past Saturday, we went up to we went to Stevenson to play Schaumburg in the Grow the Game, and we were gone from 10 a.m. until 10:45 p.m. So lots of long bus rides, lots of long days, but the girls love seeing each other, and they joke when we see each other the next day, like, oh man, I haven't seen you in a while. But lots of time together. They just love hanging out with each other too.
Do you have to address the girls by their nicknames, or is that just a them thing?
So that's the kind of the thing right now. Andrew Baez, my assistant, he's started calling them their nicknames, and I'm like, I already have so many things to think about. I can't keep track of your 4 other names. So they all call each other those names on the floor now, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I'm still sticking to I'm not calling them that. But I bet by the end of the year I'll probably
Confusing maybe at times. I'm sure for
Yes.
you were gone, when it was kind of invented.
yeah. I'm like, who is this person?
Well, why don't we take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the Mid-Atlantic down the stretch. Welcome back, and going to try to shift gears. We're kind of talked about those Pekin and Limestone games. Shift gears now to really just the Mid-Atlantic. I looked at this rank or the standings today. We're in 4th place behind Washington, Morton, and Dunlap. It's the 4 powerhouse there at the top. Playing with them. We played with Washington there down to the end. We played with Morton, down to the end. We haven't gotten to play Dunlap yet, but I'm definitely excited for that one. What's it like playing a conference? It's like this, top to bottom, 1 through 8. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to look at the standings now because we've played all of those top competitions, but we haven't played Dunlap yet. So I think we're definitely a contender for that 2nd, 3rd place. I know obviously we're sitting at that 4th, which is still really great for us, but I definitely think with the way that we're playing right now, we can get a good quality win next week against Dunlap, and then that'll really push us into our 2nd round of conference with Washington and Morton coming up after that. But yeah, tough competition all around. It's anybody's game, any point. Obviously, we're excited for East Peoria on Friday. We've got a doubleheader with the boys and our unified game in between. But definitely really prepping for next week with our big week with Dunlap and Washington.
And what should the Friday night game? What should kind of fans expect from that East Peoria team? I think if I'm not mistaken, they had a pretty good player last year. Mm-hmm. Is she still there? Or was she a senior?
She graduated. They're definitely down this year with talent, but I wouldn't say that they're down with the way that they play in the Mid-Atlantic. We're definitely looking for maybe not as physical of a game, but I've definitely told the girls, this is one of those games that mentally we're going to have to really dial in on. We got to make sure that we're doing all the little things right. So hoping for a good solid win to end out our week here with obviously starting with Limestone and then ending with them. But I think it'll still be competition. Any game in the Mid-Atlantic is competition, and I don't want to sell them short or anything. I know they haven't had the best season that they've had, but any day, any time, it's anybody's win. So
that's how it is in the Mid-Atlantic, any sport really. I feel like. What have you kind of been impressed with since you've gotten back? Since you've gotten back over Christmas break, what has kind of impressed you the most with this group, and then moving forward as well?
I would say just their want to be in the gym and to want bigger wins and more opportunities. Like I said, starting from that 2nd place finish, it wasn't good enough for them. And we practice on Sundays, and we have some optional practice here and there. And our captains and our seniors are really getting on all of our players to make sure, hey, even when it's optional, we should be in the gym shooting. Look at our percentages. Look at this. Look at that. Look at the film. So they're recognizing a lot more of the little things that before I was kind of having to teach them to look at, and now they're kind of doing it on their own, and they're kind of taking those positions. And I've also recognized in practice a lot more of people taking bigger roles and wanting to step up in some more situations, and having some post players really work on a lot of their shot selections, some of our guards really getting that one-on-one action, trying to get to the rim. So a lot of improvements across the board, not only just physically and going against each other, but also just the mental game of it all and being able to push each other and get through a tough part of the season.
And when you came in this evening, you talk about the big games. When you came in this evening, you told me that Adam Duvall came out with a poll and said that Metamora was receiving votes to kind of try to be in that top, that was rankings. It's pretty awesome to do.
Yeah, we've definitely worked hard for it, and we're not gonna just sit back and let those numbers just show what it is, but we want to show it off of our games and off of those big quality wins for us. So after next week, I would be curious to see kind of where we are. I think we've got some big games coming up that can really push us and hopefully get us towards that top and get an actual ranking.
And then who's next week? Who do we have next week?
Dunlap and Washington.
So okay, so we're going to start that 2nd round of conference play then.
Yep, so Dunlap's our last one that we'll play on Tuesday, and then we'll go back with Washington next Saturday.
All right. I don't want to end on a bad note, but kind of what's something that this team needs to improve on going forward into the 2nd round of conference play? What do you want to see different, different time around when we play the Washingtons, the Mortons, the Dunlaps?
So one thing even last year that I'm making sure that doesn't happen this year is when we got to this point of the season, we became a little robotic and we started kind of just going through the motions and forgetting the little things of setting up our cuts and making sure that when we set a screen that we've got to make sure we are hitting the player, we're angling the right direction. If we are running certain possessions or certain plays, we've got to make sure that we're getting to the right spots on the floor. So if we say get to the volleyball line, that doesn't mean one step behind the volleyball line. It means getting to the volleyball line. So we just have to, this week we've really dialed back into the basics. So obviously we've been in season for a while now, but sometimes you got to go back to the very beginning to then remind them this is how we got there. So that's kind of where we're at right now, is making sure that all of those little things are in place for us to hit this second round of conference, for us to have a good shot.
And then not just have you guys been in season for a long time, you guys ramping up all summer, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
When did you guys start?
We start right when school ends. So the first day that we can be in the gym, we're in the gym.
All summer?
Yes.
Wow. Well, that'll just about wrap it up here with the Michaela Hurst Show. Coach, thank you so much.
Yes,
Bring home a
thank
couple
you.
W's, see if we can get into that poll.
Yes.
That'll just about do it.